YouTube, and we are live. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good now that we're doing this. Everything's connected. We're chit-chatting. I'm excited.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I guess the perfect place to start this for anyone who has no idea, can you kind of just tell me a little bit about you, Tal?
How I?
Just you in general. Just tell me a little bit about you.
Uh, who am I?
Yeah.
All right. I've been doing the BMX stuff for most of my life, and let's say the actually it's a good timing because last month was 20 years celebration of my shop.
Wow.
So I got the sole BMX shop in Israel in Tel Aviv,
Yeah.
and it's been a pretty good 20 years of living the BMX dream, you know.
That's wild. 20 years of having a BMX shop. That's a long time.
Yeah, I was planning to do a celebration and then shut down, but it's still here.
That's still, I mean, 20 years. So like our conversation's mainly focused around, planetary hubs and everything, but I'm just genuinely curious how everything went 20 years ago starting a shop.
And when you travel and you come back home, you got at least for us, we get a boost of motivation. I calculated, and it's something like for 1 week abroad, you get 1 day of motivation. So I was there I lived in Canada for 1 year, and so I had a few good months of motivation. And I lived in Calgary and then Vancouver, and I met Jay Miron. He pretty much said I could open the shop and that's easy. No problem. So like, yeah, just speak with Jamie. Sounds easy.
And was
And
it?
that was it. Yeah, it was, only maybe like 20 guys around here back then. We don't have the culture and history you have in the States. It was pretty much nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there is that, but to have 20 people who ride in a scene like that, I mean, there's that's kind of few and far between even over here to have 20 people very locally to a BMX or a shop that really supports BMX.
How many riders do you have in your city?
I mean, in the city where I live currently, there's like two or three other people.
Okay,
But it's like
that's enough.
it's
Not alone.
a small area too. Like if you count the whole entire county and like multiple cities because they're smaller cities that are a little bit spread out. If you count that, then you're getting to like 10 to 15.
So we pretty much it was there were more and more people coming and joining with the bikes. I think we reached around 200, and then since then it's around that level, that amount, and just people change because we don't have too many older guys riding, only kids. So it was mostly me and my crew, like maybe 10 people.
Hmm.
We did some good jams, street sessions, video contests. Well, we had fun. We had good times.
That's awesome. So you have that many people like in the scene right now?
No, right now it's dead. It's pretty much feels like it's the lowest point, at least for locally. It's pretty bad. There's no new blood coming in, and we've seen it all. After you go through ups and downs. You see it sound like sometimes the inline skates were cool. Then
Mm-hmm.
skateboarding once in a while goes also up and down. But for BMX, it was never a mainstream. So it's always even with when there was more people, you wouldn't want you had the people you know. That was pretty much it. You wouldn't see a different group uh, riding in the street.
Yeah.
Like who are those guys? Like, no, never happened.
Yeah, this is the same way here. I mean, if you see somebody and they're like really riding and they're you can tell that they have been riding for a while, it's very rare that you're like, I have no idea who this is. And if that does happen, it's because they just moved to the area.
Yeah, so I've been riding with the same guys from one of my best friends, Amir, and I think it's 30 years now. Been
Wow,
cruising together.
that's amazing.
He's actually also my home designer.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And yeah, so pretty much the shop was always the main gathering place. We did some stuff that we saw on the internet. We saw people making crazy jams and lots of people.
Hmm.
So we said, why not? Let's also do some and pretty much flowed with it, whatever came.
Yeah, that's
So
cool. That's really
yeah, so
cool.
right now it's not. I wish it was better right now, but it's not the best time.
Yeah, well, I feel like, I mean, everybody's talking about how bad BMX is doing right now. There has to come a point where it makes a turn and starts to go back up. Like, it can't go to zero. It just, we're not all just going to stop riding. So, like, things have to eventually start to go back up.
Did you see this table of ups and downs of BMX?
Uh-uh.
Was Nathan Beddoes, a photographer.
Hmm.
I think he made it. It's pretty cool.
I'll
Like,
have to see that sometime.
yeah, yeah, I'll look it up.
Okay.
And so I'm not sure where to start because the shop. I'm not a free coaster guy. I
No?
only ride forward. I can barely fakie. Like I'm really bad.
Oh, well, so, okay. How does the thought process for creating something like the Planetary Free Coaster even come up for somebody who's not even a free coaster guy?
Have you seen Back to the Future?
Yeah.
So the same idea with the flux capacitor just came to me. I was thinking, just sitting. I think it's pretty much the same here spot also. Sitting having some coffee, and then I thought like, wow, it could be a front freewheel. Why not?
Hmm.
Why not make a front freewheel? I wasn't trying to solve a problem, just some idea that came up to me, and started sketching. You know what's the most important thing you need in an invention?
What's that?
You need a good name.
Oh, yeah. True.
So the free night was from the very first day. Was yeah, I posted a sketch from September 12th, maybe
Mm-hmm.
2013,
Wow. 10
and
years ago.
so I happen to have here something I made the same night at home. So this is just a cardboard.
Yeah. So it looks like a sprocket.
It's a sprocket ring
Yeah.
and squashed between two plates,
Okay.
and it spins.
So it's like the planetary concept, but as a sprocket?
No, not yet. That's
Oh, okay. Okay.
long
Sorry,
time.
I didn't mean to jump ahead.
No, no. So, but I studied art in school, like drawing and stuff like that. So this was the nicer version using
Um,
balls and springs. So this is just another
can you
step.
hold it up a little bit higher? There we go.
Yeah.
I can see it now. I see. So this is like DIY version of what's inside the hub, kinda.
Well, the original idea was just in sprockets, and the final version of the first concept.
Wow. That's
So this
wild.
is this is actually this was on a bike.
Whoa. And
So
is that what you
only when
sent
I
me? The
had this thing that's a 3D print,
yeah.
only when I made this one, I realized I was completely off the concept.
So is that what is this before the video that you sent me? Correct?
Yeah, that's much earlier. I had a friend. I have a friend, a good friend. He's a medical engineer. He was the only one I knew that could make the drawings, prepare drawings, and send them for 3D print. Ohad, his name, and he helped me manufacture it. Just a nice, very elegant way. And that was it. It was, I think it was about after 2 or 3 months, and I saw it, it doesn't work. That's it. So put it aside. Then I think it was maybe 3 months later. He calls me and said, "Look, I have my friend here. He just came back from the States. He's an engineer. He solved your problem.
Hmm.
Here's his number. Talk with him." And that was Alon, my partner and co-founder.
Mm-hmm.
And we met up. And he's what you considered the way my friend described him. He said there are from all the engineers, maybe 20% that are very good, and inside those 20%, there are 2% that's really like enigma, and he's one of them. He's really really good in thinking in a very interesting way and open-minded.
Mm.
And we sat together, had a coffee, and started to tackle the problem and see what we can do. And I think pretty fast we realized it's not possible with the sprocket because it was too delicate, small springs and stuff like that. Didn't really work. But we were able to make a mechanism inside the bottom brackets.
Mm.
That was the next step. And you know how engineers, I don't know how many you met, but they think completely different.
Yeah.
So let's say I need to describe something. I start from the back wheel, and he'll start from the front wheel.
Mm. Okay.
And it took us a while to understand each other and get to some points. And but then we managed to create a bottom bracket free coaster, and all that's still happening without any idea of what's going to happen with it. We weren't trying to solve ancient problem of free coasters. We're just having fun playing with bicycle parts.
Yeah.
And so just grab this. This was fast. In the real life, it took I think 8 months
Okay.
to reach this thing.
Wow. So that goes inside the bottom bracket.
This is a, you could say, we called it a few times an upside down sock, like inside out, not upside down,
Mm.
inside out. And that was pretty cool. But it has the same issues that the regular free coaster have.
Can you hold it up a
Not
little bit
so,
more? So
yeah.
so what do you mean? Oh,
Well, you see the bearings,
yeah.
and there's a cone. Instead of a driver, the spindle is the driver.
Mm. I see, yeah.
When you spin, yeah. So when you spin the pedals, the cone engages. Supposed to disengage by itself. Doesn't always happen.
Mm.
And then the sprocket itself spins while the spindle is stationary. So I think that may be a good point to show that video we talked about.
Yes, okay, so I'll bring this over here and I guess maybe a little backstory on what this video is could help.
Um, I'm not sure what we were trying to do. It's
Is it just using what you had in your hands just now?
yes, that's one of them. There in the video there are actually two types. So I'll show the other one later.
Okay.
But there's the cone. It's BB
Whoa.
coaster, how we called it, and it's was supposed to be a really cool idea to bring something new into the
That's pretty
BMX
wild.
world. So the problem is for using it in the way it's supposed to work, you have to run a fixed gear on the back
Mm.
because you're missing a movement, one spinning movement. You need that extra spinning of the wheel.
Right.
So how like that's like an example for the things we had to solve. How do you find a fixed gear with 14 millimeter axle?
That makes sense. It makes it way harder.
So just for example, those hubs that have the driver without the pawls, and all the pawls and springs are in the on the hub shell.
Yeah.
So we just took one of those and stuck like one for each direction.
Oh, that makes sense. So you're locking it in place with the paws.
Yeah, DIY.
Yeah, it makes total sense. That is crazy though. Yeah, right, watching the sprocket turn. That's really cool. So that
It's
video.
cool. So I guess it's also a little dangerous,
Maybe.
maybe. Yeah, but
So,
it was another point of the design. The point it stopped being this idea because we saw it's not practical. Just
yeah,
wasn't. It needs to be BMX proof. It needs to be adjusted to BMX riders, and
right.
it's too much. And we tried. So also in the video, you can see the next generation.
Interesting.
Now this is uh, that's pretty much the same as the hub, the planetary hub.
Hmm.
The planetary came later, but this is spinning sprockets with springs and pawls instead of the cone.
I see.
So it's a really I rode it in a few days. It felt nice, but again, it's cool, but only as a science project.
Right.
Not enough for making. I'm not even talking of making a profit, just trying to sell it.
Yeah, it's got to be easy for people to just throw on their bike. Makes sense.
So eventually we came back to the hub, but after we did this way around, we learned a lot working on the BB coasters, and then we had all this knowledge and know-how, and we wanted to implement that into the hub, but no money, no factory. We had to deal with let's say if we were a big company, we could probably do all this development and testing in a few months.
Yeah.
But some of the points you need to let go and put it aside, because you can't keep pushing all the time. It's so difficult. Even with two people with motivation, we had to take some time off and just put it on the side and think about it. And after a few attempts of we approached a few BMX companies. We spoke with a few people and met a few people,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing really advanced. And we felt like it's a good idea, but no one really wants to pay a lot of money for it. It's not like a big industry. It's a BMX. It's just BMX bikes.
Yeah. So,
So
real quick, at what point in time are we at right now? Like, what year is it by this point?
I guess 2015,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah, around 2 years in the process. Already after a patent application. That's a whole different story for another time.
Okay.
We try explaining to a engineer how free coaster work. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's funny.
What happens in every different stage. And yeah, so once we had the planetary system, the planetary clutch idea, even we knew it's going to work, but bringing it into a product and selling it was so far away. We didn't have anything. I'm just a shop in a small country, and my friend is an engineer, but we're not. We don't have any options. So we tried to sell the idea.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't really work out. And eventually we took the big step and decided we should make it by ourselves,
Yeah,
because we jumped into the water pretty much.
right. So, do you remember when the like revelation of the planetary like concept first was a thought for being possible?
Yeah, because Alon might have a different version, but I know my version.
Okay, okay.
I was pretty bummed that it didn't really work, because we had the clutch and it worked when pedaling, but had the slack.
Mm,
So it's like we didn't do anything. If we only moved it to the bottom bracket, so what? It's not such a big deal, you know. It's just okay. So it's in the sprocket spinning. It's nice. And I realized that the clutch disc needs to be forwards, be spinning forwards when
mm,
you pedal, and when you fakie, it has to be backwards and away from the poles.
yeah.
And so I called Alon. I tell him this, and I was like, it's we worked so much on this thing, and now there's nowhere to go, because I realized this has to be moved forward and then backwards. And he's like, so what's the problem? It's just a planetary gear.
So just like that simple.
It's so easy, you know. It's so easy. Yeah, planetary gear.
Wow.
And like two days later, he had a sketch, rough design. I think it hasn't changed almost almost the exact same design became a product in the end.
Wow, that is crazy to think that something like so complex in the way that it like works when you try to think about it was so simple of like an like it just popped up. It was like, "Oh, that's easy. It's just this." Like
Because you need combination of people to do brainstorming,
true.
and it's pretty. I think it's pretty much by chance that I'm not an engineer or anything, but I have a good technical knowledge,
Yeah.
and Alon is a great engineer, but he doesn't. At least back then, he didn't know anything about BMX.
Yeah.
But I think together it was that's that's maybe the reason it never happened before. Like how come no one thought about it before?
Yeah,
It's not that complicated.
I don't know. I'm
Well,
trying
that's
to
that's
pull
exactly
one
it.
out of this hub right now so I could show like we could show at the same time the sprocket and this. I just don't have fingernails. It's in there. It's this tiny little thing in here, people. Can you hold up the sprocket?
Is this the free night or
This is the alienation one.
yeah,
This is what
Venus?
it ended up. And but that's so crazy. I couldn't I
But
have a free night here, but I couldn't get the
so
jam nut
this
off.
is in the process. There's still a little couple years left. I think business wise, we attempted a few times and we saw it's not going anywhere. So we took the invested our money and got whatever we could, and then like the only option we had is making those 3D print clutches.
Yeah,
So this
that's
is this is
crazy.
this is white.
Yeah,
This is just 3D printed,
but that's the
and all
same thing that was in all the original ones, just white.
exactly because I painted them with spray.
Ah,
I'd arrange all the parts and spray paint. Just it looks better in black.
that's fair.
Yeah, maybe I should have done some colors now that I think about it.
Yeah, maybe for the people who are gonna take it apart and see it.
Yeah, I was just pop this thing out.
Man, that's wild. So if I could get this one out of here, that's so
Here
cool.
you can also see the O-ring. It's much more obvious because it's black.
Yeah. So I guess how much time did it take for you guys to end up at that for the clutch? Is that like what he drew up as initially and you just kind of made it?
Pretty much the same. Yes. The problem with free coasters, there's a friction,
Mm,
and friction is it's a huge problem because finding the right amount of force and it's everything spinning and has to sit in place. And it took us, I think it was 2017 when we started or no, 2018. We started selling the free nights only in Israel for a whole year because during this year we improved the design and made it smoother and try to get it better before we go outside of the country. But for us, it was like a lab.
yeah.
Local scene was a lab for testing science. The science
Yes, science experiments.
science experiments. Yeah. So that was a good. A lot of development went through during that year.
That does make
Uh,
sense.
so the reason we had to use 3D prints is because those this is the clutch from the like the one you have in your hands right now, and
Yeah, the newer one that's
the one everyone yes.
made from
So
plastic.
this yeah, but it's a injection mold parts,
Yep.
and one of the reasons we decided to go with it is because we knew most people want to invest so much money in making all these molds because it's I think 5 or 6 parts. It's a lot of money just for some idea,
Right.
but it works.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely works. So at this point in time, this is what we're talking about with the hubs. You guys made the Free Night Planetary. These are what that 3D printed clutch is in. And if I could get this jam nut off by hand, I would show it, but I just can't. It's on there too good.
The problem with the 3D printed clutch was a surprise. You didn't know if it's going to break in the first 2 seconds or not.
Yeah,
So it was always not even 50-50.
really.
And yeah, it was pretty stressing. But uh, this hub, the Free Night hub, is pretty much the Ezra Free Coaster. You know, the car pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Same hub. It hasn't really changed, but we managed to get our clutch in there instead of the spring and all the things they had.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't easy. Also, just for example, I had a few people contacting because, well, maybe you know what? Let's go a few months back. We filmed the video for the free night, the like promotion video,
Mm,
and Dig posted it.
yeah.
Dig are pretty much they're our friends. We know the guys. They came in a few times to Israel and took pictures. So I spoke with Fred and Fred Moore, and he posted it. And I think after a month or a few weeks later, I just wanted to see how many views it had. And then I saw this anonymous YouTuber called Brant Moore speaking about this hub. And it's like, what? It
Yeah.
actually reached someone.
Well, what blew my mind about it was that this concept came out that seemed like it was going to just completely change everything to do with free coaster hubs, and it seemed like nobody was talking about it.
And you know why? Because, well, it's understandable.
It is.
The BMX companies, they support, they fund the magazines.
There's
And
that for sure. And if you guys aren't going to pay that and you can't pay that, you're not going to be talked about. Then there was also the fact that, like, all of the big name riders ride for a company that makes hubs. So they're not going to be able to talk about this brand new thing from a company that isn't their sponsor.
exactly. So the good thing is that even I think a few years earlier, uh, Grant from PSD, he came to Israel because there was this curved wall ride. You know, the Rich Thorn wall. You know which one I'm talking about?
The which one again?
Rich Thorn,
Yeah.
the one that goes over the lamp, and
Yeah.
Grant loves the walla.
Oh, yeah.
And he came, and we became friends. And I told him, listen, I have this hub. Maybe you want to test it.
Yeah.
And they rode it for a good while, and it's all the same time, we sent a few samples. Sorry,
Oh, you're
we
good.
sent a few samples, and also to my friend Rob Dolecki, and he tested it and said it was like a Posh Trail approved.
Nice.
And I sent one to a writer, Thomas Moore
He's in here watching
from
right now.
he is.
Yeah.
What's up? He's like the first Canadian who rode the hub, and the driver broke. I think it was on the first session.
Oh man.
Like a tooth of the driver broke.
Dang.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, of course,
He
that's
was cool. He was cool with it. I sent him a new one, and then since then I think it was okay.
yeah.
And I sent also one to Barcelona to a shop owner, Julian in Loretta. I forgot his last name. A Happy Bike Shop,
Yeah. Okay.
and they made a video about it. A bunch of things happening during the same time, and that was still pretty much a testing phase. And once we're ready to actually start selling it, that was already since I think it was 2019. Then we began selling the hubs with the 3D print clutch, and it was some were good, some were not. Some customers had spoke good things about it. Some skeptical. All those small gears spinning.
Yeah.
I'd go and look for comments in different websites, and luckily you got the good one.
Yeah, I never had any problems. I rode my original one for the first time at our trail jam because that was just the day, like that's when now everything lined up and I put it on my bike and I'm like, all right, I guess this is the first session. And I never had any kind of problems with that thing at all.
So to express how important that moment was, because if it would break in the first few seconds, that might have changed everything.
For even for my day, for sure. Like at a trail jam and my hub breaks on the inside.
Yeah,
Um,
no, not good.
but yeah, and I mean, even from my perspective, having that hub and making all of those videos was like a rocket ship for my YouTube channel because it was just,
I,
go ahead.
I think you have like 60,000 followers now. That's
Yeah, it
right. It's
just
amazing.
just happened last night. Thank you. But it was crazy because I made the first video about it and I'm like, I know this hub is game changing. I just know it is. I can just tell from what it is. Nobody's talking about it. People should be talking about it. So I reached out to you and then you sent me one and I wrote it and I made a video about it and that first video just blew up. So I just made
No, that was awesome.
I made as many
I'd
videos.
refresh. I'd refresh and see how many views.
Yeah, it's crazy when that can happen. And it's going that like blowing up that much that you refresh and just more views and more views every time. And so I just made every possible video I could think of to just get it out there as good as I could. And they seemed like a lot of them just kept blowing up because people wanted to learn about this thing.
And I know we took it's not a crowdfunding thing, but I tried to share every post that someone tagged me, and if someone bought a hub, I share the post, and then it gets to more and more people, and then this is the way we got to other people. We didn't do any commercial at all.
Yeah.
Just from people spreading the word. That's pretty much that was it. We had to pay for all the development, and we kept even today we still keep doing improving the design.
Yeah.
We'll get to it later. And just like a small, I think 2020 was a important moment for me because I was with Grant at a simple session, and Alex was doing this huge jump to 180, one of the big gap, and I was just hoping it won't get engaged, won't engage, because that could have also been pretty bad. I
Hmm.
was like so stressed. And Grant told me like, relax, okay.
That's awesome. So at that
So
point was the BSD one started?
the BSD was the next level of hub
Hmm.
and next level of clutch,
Right.
because some things we wanted to change because it's easy, this is like one piece you can just take out, replace if you want. It's a pretty solid. Oh yeah, exactly.
I finally got it out. Yes.
Nice.
You just
Also, the hub itself is built, has those the spline for the outer ring,
hard to see,
and
but you can.
yeah, we made all the input we got from the riders and from my shop team riders. We tried to put everything in one hub. That was the BSD, and I guess that's where the big the most difficult stage is bringing it into mass production,
Yeah.
because that's that's a real challenge. Having, yeah, let's say you have something good, but now, okay, so you want to make 1,000 of those. I can't print 3D print and paint, spray paint 1,000 pieces.
Right.
And then it was also the COVID began, and we couldn't go to Taiwan, so it was all had to be made, had to be done by emails and a few phone calls, but videos explaining, and I think it's not typical for a factory to be approached by people with an idea, but usually more a BMX company or any other bicycle company. They would do the development together with the factory, but we came with our design. We just said like, here, this is what we want, and we got BSD as our main client.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anymore just a couple guys from Israel. It was a legit brand, and we did almost all the improvements we could. And some of them we had to compromise, and we were also trying to bring it to the market on time and not delay too much, because time is also a consideration. And it's not like it was the reason for some of the problems we had, but we didn't know how it's going to end up until we saw the actual product.
Yeah.
We weren't sure about it. We weren't there to show the factory like, this is what you need to do exactly. This
Right.
is this is good. This is bad. It was only made by videos and explanations, and that's also one of the most disturbing things I had, because I took it very personally. It's like my baby,
Right.
and every customer we had an issue, I take it to my like to heart.
I mean, I even felt that way, and I just was the person who's making videos. Like when people would leave comments, and I'm sitting here like defending it and everything. Like, no, that's not bad. Like,
And what's frustrating is I could fix it in like 2 minutes,
exactly.
but this guy is on the other side of the world, and he says, I don't have a socket. So
Yep.
like a 17. How do you even begin?
Right. It's tough.
And I think the first few batches were still getting improved along each production became better. And until we reached a point, we said, okay, now it's good. And we had to deal with some issues here and there, but mostly I think, let's say if you once you got the hub going good, it keep going good, not malfunction or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
it's easy to keep the cone tight.
you're right, exactly. That's the main thing. And once again, I was lucky enough that I had that Grant was nice enough to send me one of the BSD hubs, and then it was
Yeah.
like it ignited that fire again because I started making videos about that one too, and they blew up just as much, and it just restarted the whole cycle of everything from before.
By the way, one of the things we also checked and we weren't scared, but it's not scared. It's uh, not anxious. What's the word?
Slightly
Uh,
nervous.
Slightly nervous, yeah, from other companies copying us.
Oh,
Some China manufacturer could copy it and say goodbye to us.
yeah.
And there were also we knew about other products being developed by different other brands.
Mm-hmm.
And each time I could see some post with had a wheel or a hub or something, like I'd get nervous
Yeah. Understandably so, for sure. That I could see that being a worry.
because it's the main reason for me, the reason I wanted to go ahead and make it because I realized maybe there's no money at all,
Mm-hmm.
but at least I get the opportunity for being the first of doing something.
Oh
Like
yeah.
how many times in life do you get this opportunity to be first? And I want to give something back to the BMX world. That's pretty much my life.
Yeah, man. And it that's absolutely what happened. I would say, these hubs and the technology in them was the first like big step forward in technology in BMX in years. Like I can't
I
even
think
think.
we got compared into to the pivotal system.
Yeah, you could. It's along the same lines in that. I mean, yeah, that's tough.
Headset,
It's in a league of its own.
and then it was we had this plan to reach a point. Then we got to this point, and then said like, okay, what now?
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Yeah.
So it's good. I think it's good to have I used to do a 10 years planning ahead,
Oh, that makes
just like a
sense.
general idea of like where you want to be in 10 years from now. And we exceeded the plan.
That's awesome.
So then let's see if I'm not forgetting something on the way. Of
Well, I mean, I definitely feel like I want to bring up the alienation one in that process too, just
course,
because I'm involved with that. Because it was like I'm lucky enough that I work with people who weren't gonna be upset that I was making videos about a competing product because Alienation made the Rush Free Coaster that they had from years ago. That was another example. They made that hub and it kind of blew
it was
up.
good.
Yeah, it blew up. So like the fact that Alienation wasn't upset by me making all these videos or anything, and then when Zach said to me one day that he was thinking about working on a planetary hub, it was just like, no way. Like this thing that's kind of became my baby in a video project, and riding this hub is now a thing that a company I ride for wants to make one. So I just that was my point of getting as involved as humanly possible, to the point where I'm just like, he's talking about names and I'm just researching everything possible. And I
The name is awesome. The name is so good.
thank you. That was like, that was the first real possibility of a name that popped into my head. And I was like, there's no other option after that.
It's funny because the way you imagine it, the name it means so much. Even that's what you have. Like some people say, okay, it's the if it's on a rider's name or it has the name of its own, it has to be catchy and also express what you want it to show.
Yeah.
So also one of the reason we were open to other brands for licensing is because we feared people will try to copy the design,
Yeah.
and we wanted to be we contacted so many companies just to make sure they know they can make one hub of their own.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't close to only one brand, same as traditional free coaster. It's like everyone has the same thing,
Right.
right? So it's not so different.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, pivotal seats are all made like in the same factory. Like
Yeah,
that.
for good and bad.
Well, there, we don't need to get into that, but yes, you're absolutely right. Uh, but yeah, it's one of those things, and now like we'll get to this, I'm sure too. But like, there's so many companies who are making planetary hubs, and it's crazy to think about the fact that you know when this arrived at my house, like I knew that it was gonna be a big deal, but I didn't fully expect half of the BMX companies out there to, like the big ones, to make one.
So one more story.
Yeah,
When we were in also Kevin Connors spoke about it. We met with Harold. It
yeah.
was funny. Like he said we should have they should have thrown the bills.
Mm, that's
It's
funny.
funny.
That is funny.
Uh,
Kevin's awesome.
yeah, he's a really cool guy. And
So,
I was in we're in the San Diego area, and I met this two. There was a big storm going on in the East Coast back then, the same days. I think it was January 2015 or 16. I'm not sure. And I had to change my flights because they were canceled. And so I met these two flatlanders in Long Beach. And they just helped me call because from Skype you can't call the free number, only regular number,
mm,
like the 1-800 I couldn't call. So after only afterwards I came back, and I think it was maybe 2 years later I had the hub, and I reached out to this guy Sean von Terot from Long Beach.
mm.
And I told him, listen, I have this hub. It's a free coaster. We want to test it because I didn't know if it's good for flatland. No, we just ride street. And he said, sure, give it a try. And so I sent him one, and I really didn't hear back from him. After a few months, he told me he was ashamed to say that he lost it.
Oh no.
So a year later, he said then he found it because apparently it fell behind the closet or something like that. So he was just waiting on the side, and he never got tested.
Wow. That's crazy.
So that's flatland. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Flatland is it's very precise people, I'd say, like the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a flatlander, and we don't have any flatlanders in Israel. So I'm sorry for all the people who had some issues.
Well, I know a few people who ride flatland that have planetary hubs.
Now,
Yeah, now.
it took us time to. Well, there are also a few hacks, ways to make the hub work better for flatland.
Really?
Uh, by the way, another thing I was surprised is no one spoke about it. The option of turning it into cassette.
Well, I mean, I feel like it works so well as a cassette already. You don't even need to.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it's my son rides a free night hub. It's a cassette. It's just using the different springs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, oh yeah, because here, I have it right in front of me, just so people
Yeah,
can get the illustration. Oh, I can't. It's hard to. There we go. All right. The pawls spring downward in this. If you put different springs in it, it'll push them upward, and
yeah,
then when it
exactly.
rotates, it'll do be a cassette.
It was also a dilemma because saying it's possible to turn it into cassette, it's like admitting something's not working well as a
Mm,
free coaster. So that's the reason we didn't mention it before. But I think now it's okay. We can talk about it.
yeah, I mean, in my eyes, there's not even a reason to ever do that because it works so well as a cassette as it is.
Uh, some point, some people usually heavy on the pedals. They still don't manage. You spoke about it a lot in your videos that it's not good for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fit everyone's riding,
Yeah.
and it's true. But we don't need everyone to get a planetary hub. We're okay with 80%.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing too. It's like nothing that is made in life is made for everyone. It's people have different tastes, people like different things, people ride differently, so naturally, it's just they're going to like
And
different
then
things.
you know what's awesome? That people are saying they compare us to the Odyssey clutch,
Mm,
and that's just being there in this point that something we created is compared to probably the best company BMX has ever had, largest company at least.
that's
It's awesome. It's just like I don't take it as a bad thing. I take it as a good thing
yeah, that's
because
huge.
but then I think in some point we started messing around with different ideas of the because not everyone wanted those springs and paws, the design like the way it is right now.
Yeah.
So that's where the next thing came. This
Ooh.
is the tradition.
Yeah.
So it's as the name says, so the traditional free coaster, but with the planetary clutch inside.
Yeah, I honestly I remember you showing me all of the details with it, but I kind of forget exactly what the insides looked like.
Uh, well, there's some secret features we can't talk about,
Okay.
like a really good design. And this is actually, it's almost ready for production. The only thing that's missing is it's good economy.
Yeah, yeah, right now it's tough.
See, this is it could have been in the market already, even a year ago. But the way things are right now, it's pretty bad with still with the COVID hovering above us.
Yeah. Yeah, so when you say traditional free coaster, do you mean cone style?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, so it's cone
It's even
style.
I think there's the in the website that we have a section.
Okay, I'll just pull that up and then I'll be able
Yeah,
to show it. Uh, you're saying so it's the
in the main. the main page.
Let's see. Aha. Okay. There we go. So, planetary system inside here, but conventional clutch style free coaster with the cone that
So
threads into the driver.
the
Driver threads
idea
into cone.
the idea is to have the same heavy free coaster people love.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Balance the bike. I don't know. And so it's actually smoother because there's no resistance when it's coasting,
Mm,
but it has a small slack.
okay.
When you go backwards, you can moonwalk and do all those planetary things.
Right, right. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I remember you
It's,
telling me about this. It's awesome.
some people just we thought that they might prefer it. I don't know. What was on the way to advance, but then everything's pretty much stopped. It's just waiting for the next step.
Right. Well, and is part of that too the mountain bike version? Kind of, you guys had a bit of a focus on that too for a little while.
Oh, we're doing it right now. That's the only thing we sell right now. It's a dirt jump hub
Yeah.
with a disc brake because it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? Like
Right.
like
Absolutely.
there's no reason not doing it because it's first day.
So how has it been taken in the mountain bike world?
Um, it's not my world. It's difficult for me because I'm not in it, and their jump is pretty close. It's not the same, but it's some people ride the street with the dirt bikes, 26-inch wheels,
Mm-hmm.
and again, you had a really good part of it when you made that video about it. Then I sorry I forgot the name of the guy who said I'd love to have Dylan Stark
Yeah.
try it. So I spoke with Dylan and he said like sure yeah send me one and that was awesome. That's
Yeah, I mean he is wild, legendary, like crazy.
so that was a good measurement to see how it's standing up with all the trails and the street and but it's the same, you know. It's if it's coming from the BMX. It's it's strong.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just different spacing and disc brake.
Yep.
And next we thought, okay, so why not make also for the full suspension bike?
Mm.
That's something we also had the privilege of being first. There are a few companies who are doing. They have some prototypes testing and some big names in the industry.
Yeah.
But we're just doing our own thing and selling from here from the shop. Each hub gets attention, and I'm happy doing that. It's fun, knowing the people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not again. There's no reason of making it. Doesn't make sense. Why would you need a free coaster on a 12 gear mountain bike?
Well, I don't know if it was 12 gears or not, but there was a guy who came to raise, Kurt Voorhees. You ever heard that name?
Current,
Kurt Voorhees. He
maybe.
he's the guy who would do nose manuals on the recumbent bikes, I think they're what they're called. The bikes where you're sitting down in a chair basically. Or he'd do like curve wall rides on these crazy looking bikes. Well, at Ray's one day, him and the Fox crew were there and these guys were trying to fake like half cab over the street spine on their mountain bikes. And so what he did is he popped his chain off of his sprocket or hub or something like that, and then was doing it that way. So for someone like him, it makes perfect sense.
There's a hack they do. They take off one of the chain rings.
That's what it was that he did.
Yeah, so it's like
Yes,
a neutral gear.
literally.
But we're not cheating.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, there are people out there who it makes sense for, though.
Yeah, actually, there are also already a few riding it.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool to see. Um, Also the dirt jump hubs. It's again, it's not because it's not. I'm from the BMX side, so it's nice, but it's not as satisfying as seeing the BMX enjoy from this all
That's fair.
this hub project. Um, but one more thing is we had we had the design, the clutch. Let's say okay, there's two. You can have two groups of development. One side is the clutch,
Mm-hmm.
and the other is the hub.
Yep.
So we tried different combinations, a few different combinations of both,
Oh, okay.
and because I call the spring clutch the offspring.
Yep.
So there's one other hub. Yeah, it's easier if I show it.
Okay.
I think it was had a few pictures. That's my shop, by the way.
Oh, nice. Dang. That's awesome. S-
Let's see. Sorry, I'm a bit shaking.
It's on your bike right now? The bike or the hub?
I'm pretty much I'm between bikes.
Mm.
And this my bike is over there, but this is the testing bike
Okay.
because I always have something to test. Eventually, I got sick of changing the side of the sprocket from left to right and all that. So, so this is can you see it?
Yeah.
So this is well, I call it the Stargate.
Mm.
So you can maybe imagine how it looks like inside, or maybe you're too young for it. Do
Oh,
you know Stargate?
oh, you're talking about Star Trek?
No, Stargate.
Yep, you lost me.
Uh, but it has one good feature. Some people like it.
Is that silence? I don't hear it. Am I hearing something or am I not hearing something?
Can you hear
It sounds like aliens talking.
it? Again. Oops.
What is that? It sounds like a computer or something.
I guess the sound doesn't go through that good.
It must not. Is it loud? Oops.
Yeah, it's super loud. That's what it does.
Oh, I see. That's why it's your microphone or your computer. It's thinking that it's noise and removing it.
Ah.
So is it like super super loud?
Yeah, like other hubs that have those
Oh, you're talking about the rings that go like this.
yeah.
I see. I know what you're talking about now.
So it's this is what it does. It makes lots of noise, even
Man.
more too much for the computer.
Yeah, like literally the computer couldn't even handle it. That's interesting. So, is there a time horizon on this?
Uh, late or never.
Later or never? Okay.
It's again, it's something. It's ready for production. We had a few setbacks.
Yeah.
Setbacks. We had to figure it out, but now it's. I've been riding it, and I also love this bike. So now that this is my bike right now,
Nice. That's
and
cool. So, is that a free coaster as well?
yeah, I think one second.
Yeah, no problem. Too funny. Yeah, somebody said I thought it was R2D2 because the noise cancellation sounded like a computer.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's good. Oh, here, one second.
Yeah, no worries. I'm stoked about this. I hadn't heard about that one yet, so I'm pumped that you showed that.
That's kind of kept. Here you go. I send it to you something.
Oh, on Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah.
Okay. Waiting on it to come through here. This is cool. It's cutting edge. Oh, no, nothing yet. It'll come through though.
High tech.
Yeah, well, it's got to travel literally all the way across the world. There we go. Okay.
It's going to space and back.
Literally. Okay, I got it. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Get get everything in place here. And that's a free coaster. No way. Whoa.
I've been looking at people stare at me when I come back to home because it makes such a loud noise.
Yeah, that thing is super loud.
Gets people's attention.
I would say so. Wow, that's a free coaster. I'm just mind blown. Like, it's awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
hey, if you need anybody to make videos about that, I know a guy.
Uh, that's the only one in the world.
Well, when there's more than the only one in the world, that's really
I
cool.
hope I hope when the industry gets better, maybe we can maybe even uh limited batch
Yeah.
free night Stargate Hub. I don't
Well,
know.
I think, I mean, if there's one thing that, yeah, there's two things, but the two things that people ask for are one, a female version. We don't even need to talk about that. But two, do you think it would be possible to make one that has six paws so that it's louder? Like, they're not,
Louder than this?
they don't need that now. There's the Stargate.
Actually, I've been riding a female version, 14 millimeter bolts.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't show it.
Whoa. Okay, so like basically people, your dreams will come true one day.
And well, I have on my official bike, I have the BSD hub with the female axle of the 3/8 bolts.
Yeah.
But for my extreme riding, it's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's awesome. I'm really stoked. But there was also, I guess, too, I mean, in talking about development and all of these things, the video I just came out with, I think it was last week, I finally got to show the Offspring, which you mentioned it, but we didn't really dive into like the complexities of it. But basically, from my understanding, from like a functional standpoint, The Offspring is a clutch that gives you two options for slack, as well as fixes some of the things that can pop up in the other clutches.
and fits all the existing hubs.
Yes, that
Well, that was actually the most difficult challenge
really.
because yeah, Alon, the engineer, he wasn't happy with the size. He'd rather had a thicker spacer,
Mm,
so you get every tenth of a millimeter counts.
I see.
So, but we somehow we managed to squeeze it all in and make a good clutch. And you've been riding it for the past year,
Yeah, over a year at this point.
over a year.
And Zach told me too that there have been updates even since the one that I have.
Yes, because one of the reasons in the beginning, everyone said you have to close the cone very tight. You have to
Yeah.
keep it tight.
Yep.
So people would exaggerate and like tight it like their life depends on it.
Oh yeah.
So that would squash the spacer a bit. And it's fun because I had the same problem in I don't know. This is how you know it when you're old. When you talk about years ago, I had a G Sport Homer hub,
Mm.
and those had sort of spacers, and they would get squashed.
Oh.
So it's the same. It's a matter of material and heat treating and all together. So we had to somehow find a solution that make it stronger, and I think we did a good job. You'll
I'm
see soon, very soon.
yeah, well, I mean the one that I've been riding is awesome. I got used to the less
That's
slack.
this the sun 6 points.
Yep.
Can you see it?
Yep. It's so
It's pretty
cool.
cool.
Um, so when I found out that I was able to post that video, I went back and I realized that I had filmed an unboxing of it, but I filmed it before anybody explained to me like what was actually going on. I just wanted to figure it out on my own. And so I went through this whole video and I did not catch that there was two different spacings. So I'm like, I don't I said a bunch of stuff that didn't make any sense. And it was funny to go back and look at it and then see the video that I did end up posting where okay, somebody explained to me what actually was going on and what it
You
is.
did the video for explaining was very good. I have to say it was very thorough, and I think you mentioned all the points.
Thank you.
Pretty sure you got it covered.
Well,
Very very good.
that was because I was embarrassed in myself in the first video I filmed without knowing what was going on. And so I made sure that I did a good job in the other one. Real quick too, Grant's in here. Hi, Grant.
What's up?
But yeah, so the Offspring, uh, I think the Alienation is getting them spring. I think.
Well, this I have to talk with Zach.
Yeah. Well, either way, they're being made. They're not out yet.
They're being made right now and should be available soon.
Yeah, I'm
And
excited.
so this one can be lubricated. So that the sound might be not as strong,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean it won't work very good because it's a little different the way it works. Has a spring inside and it's loaded, and also I think it's better to say don't open it.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't try to. After you said it'll explode if I open it, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do that.
Eh, just say it's better so you don't lose any small pieces.
Yeah, I won't mess with it at all until I have an extra one and I can. and I'm not gonna be.
Soon. It's coming soon. And yeah, it's I'm really proud of it. And this is I don't know how many versions we had because each version was a bit different,
Yeah.
but this is a big change. This is a big step forward.
Yeah. I mean, there's the 3D printed version, and then at least as far as I'm aware, I mean, you know the whole background of things, but there's the 3D version, then there's the injection molded version, then there's the two O-ring version, um, the Offspring that I have, then the new version that you have.
Also, the O-ring was originally glued into the clutch.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep. I remember taking that
So
O-ring out.
yeah, now it's been solved in a very nice way, I think.
I've had no issues
And
for a whole year.
I think one thing that I still think it's bike shops are cautious with dealing with it, and I understand them because I personally I was against free coasters for a long time. But I'm talking about the days of I don't know, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
If someone had a free coaster, I told them, "Do what you want. I'm not touching it. I'm not opening it."
Yeah.
So, but this is it's pretty simple. So I think uh, every shop should know how to fix if it needs to be taken out or replaced. It's so easy, it's not a big deal. That was part of the design. It's supposed to be BMX proof.
Yep.
I mean, this is a BMX product. It's not some
It's not a watch.
no. It's strong. It's consistent. It's nice. It looks good.
Yeah. And how crazy is it for you to look at something like that first sprocket thing you made out of cardboard and then hold that offspring in your hand? It's like this ended up
Mhm.
look at that. How crazy is that?
Uh, the shop pretty much supported and made this possible. So thanks to the shop, we're able to reach this point. And now that the shop isn't doing this so well, then this is supporting the shop.
Yeah,
So that's also another circle of
absolutely.
yes. One of the reasons the shop is not also good. Sorry, I'm a little shaky. Is I have Parkinson's disease.
Oh man.
If anyone wonders why I'm shaking so much, and I think it's thanks to the Parkinson's, I was able to push myself to do things that I probably wouldn't have done if didn't have the
Mm,
disease because it was like a now or never. So, well,
yeah. Well,
so
you've done amazing stuff, man. From even from talking about like the DVD that you showed me and all of that and the riding and then working on these hubs and just I don't know, it's got to be really cool to think about the fact that you had this concept and now there's at least 6 or 7 BMX companies, like big BMX companies that have this technology and people all over the world who are riding it.
I can still see the Vital has it's gone down, but you can still see the comments. What the people saying? No, it's not going to last. It's going to explode.
Ha.
That's it's funny looking at it now in the hind view.
Yeah, yeah, it is funny. And I saw those I saw those comments on my own videos where people were like, "Oh, 3D printed, or I don't even think people knew it was 3D printed at the time, but oh, those little gears, they'll never last or anything like that. And it's like, I never had problems.
I think I'm not sure there was a 3D printed part uh, for that that actually was sold
I
on
don't,
a.
I don't think so.
Um, by the way, the main failure point wasn't the gears, it was the axles.
Yeah, right. Because the original axles, if anybody doesn't remember, the original axles had a much larger inner diameter drilled into them.
Yeah,
This one,
it was lighter. It was light.
yeah, it was definitely lighter, but yeah, that was the point of failure that I experienced.
Not only you.
I fixed it by having a titanium axle made that was solid.
Also, I think you broke it eventually.
No,
Did it break?
no, not the titanium one. I haven't I still haven't had whatever I need to do done to it to put it into the Venus.
Oh yeah, yeah. You need to remove like 2 millimeters off
The
for the
in
bearing.
okay. Yeah, super easy. All I need to do is take it over to the guy who made it.
It's like me looking at. I was looking on the BB coasters really before when I prepared the thing,
Hmm.
and it's like I don't even remember how it works. I
That's
look at it
funny.
now. It's like, how this does this thing work? I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, it's crazy how sometimes we have to get rid of some stuff in our brain to make room for new stuff.
Yeah, one of the issues I had in this hub I have on my bike right now. I solved it a few days ago, and even now, after 10 years, last month was or a month and a half ago, was 10 years since the original idea.
Yeah.
I'm still figuring out some of the things, and so complicated, but also very simple on the other hand.
Yeah. That's wild. And you just it's crazy how some of these concepts or ideas can just seemingly come from nowhere with no like just it's weird. I don't know how to explain it. It's just weird.
I think if someone has a good idea, you should try and go with it. See where it takes him.
Yep.
Because one of the best moments I had many of those, not just one, is was when someone first rode the bike with the planetary hub, who was like mind blown up, like, blown up. Was like, wow, what's this thing? Yeah, there's no slack.
Hmm.
It's a cassette. Now it's obvious. Everyone says, oh, it's a planetary free coaster.
Well, even today though, I have people who don't know what's going on, and then I'm like, "Here, ride my bike." And then they ride it, and all they have to do is a flat ground 180 and then turn it around, and as soon as they turn around, I'm like, "All right, now pedal." And then they pedal, and then that's that look on their face like,
Yeah,
"What?"
no gap.
Yep.
So the first ones never knew about it. I just told them, here, try my bike, you know?
Nice.
And
That,
all those people discovering the moonwalk, that's
yep. Fakey manual
pretty cool.
moonwalks.
Yeah, the first one made it was in Barcelona. Max, sorry, I forgot the name. I'm a bit off right now.
That's okay.
End of the day.
Yeah, I get it. If it's 4 o'clock here, it's got to be late there.
What time is it? Like almost 10
Yeah.
in the
Shoo.
evening, night.
Yeah. So
So
from here, I we kind of talked about what people can kind of look forward to potentially seeing with the Stargate. and the Offspring's coming. It's awesome.
Yeah, just in 2022, we thought COVID is over, and we said like, okay, 2023 will be okay. Things will get back on track, but the industry is not doing so well,
Yeah.
and we're disconnected. I mean, I'm in here in Tel Aviv. We're living on it's like an island. We don't have any events, competitions. We have once in a while we do a session or something small,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't really know what's going on in the big picture. So we just wait until the sales pick up, and I hope we'll be able to bring all the ideas we have because we have a few more.
Ooh, cool.
And one really cool that I still can't talk about.
I love it. I
It's
love
up.
making people
Yeah,
wait.
it's now talking about this the Offspring for a year. That's a lot. It was very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of just forgot at a certain point. I was just riding it.
It's funny because now when if I ride a regular planetary coaster, the slack seems too big.
Yeah. Right.
And also just as a master of planetary free coasters, I can tell you that I'm talking about you,
Mm.
not me. The amount of slack is not just the gap between the ramps. It's also the distance that the pole needs to go when it lifts. When it goes up, if the route is very small or
Mm-hmm.
very long, that's the gap you feel when you're pedaling forward.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
the slack is good for when if you want to moonwalk or do something else, but basically it can be 6 balls like you mentioned,
Yeah.
but then there won't be an option for bigger slack.
Right. Yeah. It would be all of them. It'd be as close to probably instant engagement as you're going to get with Pauls and Springs, right?
It feels so good even now. So especially with that Stargate hub, it's 24 engagement points.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, for anybody who would want six Pauls and Springs in a planetary, just wait for the Stargate because it's probably going you won't need it at that point.
Or do you like those buzzing sounds? You know those the paws that have like three small paws inside.
I have an
You know
Elite
those?
on my Trails bike because I like that sound in the trails.
You like that?
In the trails, only in the trails.
I don't know. For me, it's too much.
Yeah, I mean, I had it on my bike when I first got it a long time ago. I rode it on my bike, all the time. And after about a month, I had enough.
How the trails right now? Is it starting to snow or what's going on right now?
I haven't been there in a few weeks, so I don't even know, honestly.
Is it the winter?
We had snow on Halloween and woke up to snow on the ground, so it's about at this point that they're probably done, unless there's a random really nice day.
Until spring.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wish I had more is building trails growing up. We used to have a good spot, but we never got into it. So
Mm.
another reason I'm not a good rider.
You are a good rider. Stop.
Mm.
I've seen your videos.
I had a few good moments.
Yeah, well, I mean that's basically what our lives are, a series of good moments with some ones in between.
Uh, Something I noticed when I was looking for the original video of the news coverage you made of the free night,
Yeah.
the first one. So you're so consistent. You have like something like 5 years of BMX news.
Yeah,
That's crazy. That's
thank you. It was
really
one of
solid.
those, well, it was one of those things that people had done it here and there, but nobody really stuck to it. So I'm like, you know what? If no one else is going to do it, I'm going to be the one to do it. And I'm just going to, every week, that's what's going to happen.
It's a different like it's like watching the news. When you bring it, you get a neutral
Yeah.
point of view, and that's really important. And well, right now the situation, it's I'm a little phased out from everything the past few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
but keep it, keep doing it. It's good.
Every Friday, 10 a.m.
Yeah. Some of the videos also, it's just thanks to people like you, or people, the original uh, pioneers who got the hub.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly thanks to those people that we're at where we're at right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's also the aspect too, like, if the hub wasn't good, I wouldn't have made the videos that I made. You guys made something awesome and it made me want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, it ended up pretty good.
I would say so, man. I'm so stoked to see where things have come from and gone and where they're going in the future. It's rad. You guys kicked ass.
4 years, that's not bad. 4 years international selling.
No, not bad at all. And I mean, I think this is going to be a style of hub it's not like it replaces free coasters. It makes it so instead of there being cassettes and free coasters, there's now cassettes, planetaries, and normal free coasters.
Okay, so I saw the hub, Dirt Jump Hub,
Yep.
one of our local kids a few days ago, and I realized he doesn't know anything about free coasters. He just bought the hub, and
Nice.
for him it's no normal. Just free coaster. There's the cassette. There's free coaster. Planetary. I don't know what it is. Doesn't matter. It's a free coaster.
Yeah, yeah. It is a free coaster, but when you're moving forward, cassette.
Mm. I'm happy with it. It's really, and I'm able to do some fakey.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, okay, that's a great place to wrap up the live for this. Is that this is what I tell people about these hubs. Before I had a planetary, fakies were a means to an end for me. Like, I want to do an abubica, I have to do a fakie to be able to do an abubica. And so I do one, and then the fakie is just how you have to get out of it. Now, with having the planetary and having the coaster with it, I have this fakie as part of the trick where it feels like it's become part of what I'm doing versus just how I get out of the trick.
I tried, I think, also a long time ago, and I 180 the handrail over a handrail.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty low one, nothing crazy, but it took me, I think, eight times until I got out of the fakie because I landed fakie. So I had the 180 was the easy part, but
Yep.
landing and keep going out of it was more difficult.
Yep. So with a planetary, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. You don't worry about it, and then you have an easier way to fakie.
And when cruising around, it's fun,
Yeah.
just in the city. Yeah,
Yep.
that's so when I think you notice the most of the small slack, the one you have right now. When you're standing still, you do the small back pedal
Yeah.
to start riding. That's when you feel like it's just like a cassette. Feels
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. It was, man, when I first put it on, it was immediately obvious. It was just like an instant jump forward of like, oh wow, this thing went from, oh yeah, you can kind of notice something when you're not moving to
So
not.
so I got just it got me reminded. And I showed my friend Amir. I showed them the small Slack. I was like going crazy, like, oh, it's so small. And he takes my bike and says, oh, there's still Slack. By the way, also one more thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I was happy you mentioned the box in the maybe the one of the first videos. You said it's a nice box,
Yeah, it is.
and I was happy for my friend because he worked on it. Yeah,
Yeah, it is a good box. I mean,
good job, Amir.
good job.
And Itamar, who he was the editor, and the riders. So many people, just my crew, people around me. It's one of the reasons that all became true is thanks to all the people around, people I know, people I ride with, still today.
Yeah, it's awesome what a community can do, right?
I wish there were more because we're all right now. We're maybe three, four guys. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Like, the old ones.
Yep. Yeah, there'll be more.
Hopefully,
There will. There'll be another generation to come through.
and we need something like the park, the raise
Raise is special. Raise is like a crazy situation where it's just this old factory building that was half empty had the perfect thing get brought into it that there's all this area to expand to. It's just a crazy situation.
how many people are involved in this place?
Them they have
Is this like a community space or
no, it's a business. So there's between 5 and 10 people who work there, I
it's
would
been a
say.
while? It's been a long time, right? It's like over 15 years or something.
Something close to that. Yeah, they've been around for quite a long time and it started, in a smaller section of the building and then as they had more and more people visiting, they were able to expand into different parts of the building to where now it's some crazy like 180,000 or more square feet of area.
Oh,
It's huge. I
oh,
mean,
that's huge.
yeah, when I
That would probably be if I'm able physically, that would be my next project.
going to raise or making a
No,
raise.
building a place, making one,
Oh, dude, that'd be amazing.
maybe. Now I do some skateboard design, but it's not the same when it's yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
No trails in Israel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing is like Raise is such a perfect storm of a situation where the building just existed. You'd have to hopefully be able to get the perfect situation that came up.
Yeah, I think we met. There's a big open area just outside the city, and we came to them. We told them we need 10,000 square meter.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40,000 square feet,
Yep.
maybe. We just told them just give us the area and we'll take care of it. But they didn't accept.
Yeah, it's tough. Those kinds of things are so hard to get people who like don't get it yet to understand.
Yeah, I see in the UK they have thanks to the Olympics they have some good places coming up. The government is actually putting money in BMX.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's something we could use also.
Yeah, well, hopefully with the next Olympics coming up next year, we'll see it happen.
Any updates to the local park you go all the time? Maybe change of ramps?
No, we had the park that I helped design with. They built that over the spring. It's there, and then nothing with my main local park that I always go to.
You love the quarter.
I love that quarter. I'll cry if they get rid of that.
Yeah, you remember when I asked you about how to Fufan?
Yeah.
I crashed so many times.
it's it's a weird motion. Not normal.
Uh,
Too
I
funny.
used to do, I think, maybe in a different time. I'll try again.
Yeah, you'll get it. Just takes
Uh,
it takes trying it and then waiting a couple years and then trying again and then you'll just be able to do it.
so a couple of my friends that try Nice Pick, the big quarter. Uh, I think it was 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I told them what you told me. Just come like gently and
Yep.
place it on it, but it didn't work.
Well, yeah, you got to develop just like with anything else, you got to develop the accuracy of putting it where you're trying to.
It's good. One more thing that I was happy with riding the free coaster personally, that I could improve without going crazy on big stairs or ledges, or you could actually improve doing small stuff, getting a better technique instead of going loose cannon on some big ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what usually would happen. We'd go ride and get a good vibe. Then after a week or two, try some big ledge, get injured. Then a few months,
Yep. Yep, never good when that happens.
now I do the small stuff. I stay on the height of the coping.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So if people wanted to kind of try and stay up to date with what you guys have going on, where would they look to do that?
Mostly Instagram.
Yep.
Right now, it's kind of frozen until the situation in the country. I hope it ends well.
Yes.
Uh, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Uh, they can always hit us up, email. I get a lot of people asking specific questions, and I try to answer fast, like in a day or two, not more than that. It's not like I get 100 emails a day, but um, I think we just need to wait a little until everything heals up and the industry gets better,
Yep.
because we were never trying to become a BMX company. We just wanted to bring the technology
Mm-hmm.
and like here,
Yep.
you know.
Well, I think you definitely did it with the planetary side of it.
Let's see where it goes next.
Yes, absolutely. So with that, I appreciate your time and everyone make sure you go and stay tuned because it sounds like there's a lot of exciting things for the future. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you next time.